Now, recording from under the towel.
I am recording as well.
Are you under a towel?
There is a towel somewhere in this booth. I will not tell you where.
Oh, dear. Okay, I've got my trio.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, water your family tree, resequence your latent genome traits, and devise a new alias.
Because it's time to talk Tull to me. That was sassy.
I'm Omen Said.
And I'm Nick McGill.
We are Feckless Moans, and this is Talk Tull to Me, the ancestral voyage across the historical landscape that is the band Jethro Tull. Episode by episode, we will unearth the archaeological layers, track our ancient lineage, and realize that we ourselves are the princes of prog rock.
And find the embarrassing cousins, the embarrassing relations, yeah. I think it's important to acknowledge that.
I will also find those photographs that our mothers took of us when we refused to wear anything but a hat. That's an actual picture that my mother has.
Yep, I believe it. 100%. Yeah, and there's, of course, the obligatory naked in the tub, you know.
Oh, yeah,
like
naked
that.
in the tub. Covered in tin foil.
Ian Anderson naked in the tub.
Yeah.
Just from last year, actually. The timestamp is 2018. What?
And here we are. Nick, do we have any housekeeping today?
No housekeeping for this week.
Okay, great. Just let the house go to rot, I guess. Keep those cobwebs up. And
yep.
So today, what do we have the pleasure of talking about, Nick? What song are we going to be talking to our audience about today?
This week is the final song off of Benefit. Bonus is not included. It is number 10, track number 10. It is Sossity, You're a Woman.
Let's have a listen.
Let us.
Wow. Okay, so Nick, question for
you. Yeah.
How many songs are on this album?
This is 10. This is number 10.
Okay.
5 on each side.
Okay, great. So 1 out of 10, where does this song rank for you in terms of this album? 10 being your preferred one and 1 being your least preferred one.
Like if I had to listen to one song off of Benefit?
Like if you had to rate them 1 through 10, where does this one fall?
I would say 2. It's in the top 3. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Oh, so 10, 8, 9, or 10. It's in the top 3.
It's in the top 30th percentile, you would say.
Yes, that is precisely what I would say.
Okay. Now ask me the same question.
Oh, no. Omen, I'm going to ask you a question that's going to make a lot more sense than the last one that was asked to me. If you could rate these songs 1 through 10, number 1 being your favorite song off of this album, obviously, because that's how rating things works.
Okay.
Where would you rate this song?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
11.
Oh! I knew it. I expected that, but it still hurts.
It still hurts.
Seriously.
You always hurt the ones you love. I don't love this song, Nick. I'm so sorry. This is this is the first time I think that I've said this on this podcast.
Wow.
I appreciate the song. I respect the song, but I do not like the song. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Let me be clear. My love for this song has nothing to do with the lyrics.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Does that doesn't change anything?
Good for you. Yeah.
This is such a gorgeous song.
You know,
that guitar, the organ and guitars in the beginning, the double guitar, and then the double Ian singing.
Yeah. Yeah. One more Ian than you need, really. Twice the amount of Ian that anyone asked for.
When they get to the Sossity, You're a Woman chorus, that the tambourine that just like jives.
Oh, yes.
I'm shocked.
Oh, the tambourine. Oh, be still my throbbing heart. God, I love it. God, I love a good tambourine riff.
Put that away right now.
Goodness
on
me.
any other song. You know full well that these shoes would be swapped, and you'd be the one praising. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
How the worm turns. Oh, how the
turning of the worm.
How the tambourine trembles, Nick. Yeah, no, this is not my favorite song. Neither musically nor for lyrics. Nor for its length. It's 4 minutes and 30 seconds long. I really think it could be about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long.
I need to sit down and put my head between my knees and just breathe for a moment.
Yeah. Put your head between someone's knees and breathe for a moment. I'll wait.
How have we made it 20 years and we've never discussed Sossity?
Because I'm polite, I think is why.
Because you don't ever want to talk about it, and I just assumed that you would like it.
Yeah,
you
that's
savage.
Right. That's right. Thus do relationships crumble, Nick.
That was the last Jenga piece.
Yeah.
And here it is, episode 37.
But here's the thing, Nick. I aspire to be a gentleman. And therefore, I will discuss this song and all of its merits, if there might be any, with a level of respect, because it's not that it's a terrible song. It's just that it's my least favorite song on this album, or maybe the two adjacent albums.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's start musically. So it starts off with that delightfully Baroque, ornamentalized acoustic guitar playing. Now, do you think that that's Ian, or do you think that's our friend Martin Barr?
All of this feels just so facetious and ingenuine.
No, I think it is very Baroque.
Goodness. Well, there are two guitars in there.
Are there? Yeah, okay. You think they're playing in tandem?
It could be both.
Yeah.
That seems the most likely option, but it also feels it feels like it requires a certain level of skill that I feel like Ian has never really exhibited. And he himself has said, I think I've said this on a previous podcast, he's never claimed to be a good guitarist. He can play their songs well.
Sure.
But he can't play anyone else's.
I also think that it might be him, though, because I do think that, we do hear on later albums that he gets much more intricate with his guitar playing.
Okay.
I think that he's certainly not a good guitar player in the context of, like, rock and roll music at large.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we hear, especially later on, like with Songs from the Wood.
Yeah.
And let's remember, he's played the guitar since he was, like, 13 years old.
That's true, yeah.
So he's not new to the instrument.
That's true.
And I think that, that most of the styles that they've been playing with up to this point haven't necessitated him busting out his moves in maybe the full extent of his ability.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he was letting loose a little bit with his guitar skills here.
Sure. Okay.
And I think that there is really a fun thing that happens between the bass, the guitar, and the organ in that first introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really feels well. I think it's really well constructed, and it does sort of give this feeling of like I see sort of like fancy ball gowns and sort of a Wuthering Heights type society. It's very Downton Abbey. It feels very Downton Abbey. That's a television show that's been on recently. I don't know if you know of it.
It was on PBS, so yes, I know about it, Roman.
Okay. I guess that's Victorian though.
Yeah.
But the Victorians loved Baroque stuff.
Well, I mean,
so much so that they went Baroque.
Hi-oh. That's a
Tune into our other podcast, Kvetch British Class Systems, to me.
You used a Yiddish word for that?
Yeah.
Wow, just covering all your bases on that.
I'm trying to appeal to as many people as we can.
Okay.
So yeah, and then sorry to like get like this again, Nick, but for me, I love that introduction.
Okay.
And then they do literally that introduction like 8 more times without changing it up for the verses until they get to the chorus, Sossity, you're a woman. And then literally the way they change it is by adding the tambourine.
Maybe Ian had just learned how to fingerpick or something and just wanted to do that one part over and over.
Maybe that is it. Maybe he had just discovered a tambourine and was like, lads, this'll bring him in. That's not his voice.
No, that was Paul McCartney.
Thank you for noticing.
Paul McCartney walked into the performance, said, "You're missing a tambourine."
We picked it up while we were with the Maharishi.
We've got an extra. This will make the song really banging.
Ringo, is this the real tambourine, or is this the one that I saw last night in me trip? Because drugs.
Because drugs. But I don't know.
Was that it?
That was my Ringo.
A man of few words, Ringo Starr.
He was though.
Yeah.
He was the drummer. He was in the back.
He spoke with his fingers.
That's that. Yep. So does my masseuse.
Ah.
And my stenographer.
Oh my. So Nick, do you have anything else to say about the music? I think we've covered it. It took about 10 seconds.
I mean, I don't feel valued in this relationship anymore.
Tell me why don't we do point and counterpoint? Tell me why you like this song so much.
I think musically, that really classical feel, that Baroque that you were so tongue-in-cheek talking about. I think it's such a well-executed departure from what we're accustomed to hearing from Jethro Tull. I think even though it's on the simpler side, it is effective in their use of it.
I'll give you that. It definitely stands out in this album stylistically. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and I think that one of the things that we both have talked about loving about Jethro Tull is that they are so aggressively exploratory. Mm-hmm. They're like
so is my proctologist.
They're like wow. I was gonna go with a historical reference, but
no, give me that one too.
I think we all learned. Oh, is that what you said to your proctologist?
No, so is Gandhi's proctologist.
What?
Historical reference.
Oh, wow. No, I was gonna say it was like the Spanish in the age of exploration.
Oh,
aggressively exploratory. But no, you're right. This is a distinct stylistical departure. We don't hear any guitar playing like this anywhere else in the album. We certainly don't hear any tambourine like this anywhere else on the album, as evidenced by the fact that they put out an album after this. But then we have the lyrics. I will admit that I kind of blacked out and went to my happy place after the first verse. So why don't you start us off? What is this song talking about?
I'm trying to figure that out. I think there's some
it seems like they were too.
Yeah, there's some pretty chunky metaphor, I think, going on here.
Yeah.
Supposedly, theoretically, Sossity is society.
Oh, I see.
And he's saying, I'm using this allegory of an aging, antiquated woman as the imagery of what society is.
Right. He's sort of playing on this British class system, I think, on the imagery.
Yeah.
I do like some of the lyrics. Hello, you straight-laced lady dressed in white, but your shoes aren't clean. Painted them up with polish in the hope we can't see where you've been.
Hello, you straight-laced but your shoes aren't clean. Painted them up with polish in the hope we can see where you're.
I mean, I do think that is definitely in line with a lot of his other songs where he critiques society. Again,
Yeah.
not in an explicit and political way, because he always rides that line, but Henderson does often critique society in a sort of a general sense from an outside position. He going back to this idea that he feels outside of society, outside of life. Like Michael Collins, if you will, flying on the dark side of the moon.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
Thank you.
Although this one...
I was hoping you would.
This one feels a lot more... This one feels a lot heavier, a lot more derisive than what we've seen so far in his commentary.
Yeah.
And I just want to say the chorus of Sossity, you're a woman... Society, you're a woman.
You're a woman. Society, you're a woman.
That is the equivalent of a comedian having to explain why his jokes are funny.
Or her jokes.
Or her jokes. Fair enough. That's like Society or Sossity explaining why her jokes are funny.
Sure. No, yeah,
It's if you have to... If at the end of your allegory, of your metaphor, you're saying, oh yeah, by the way, this is a metaphor for this, that's a crap metaphor. I'm sorry.
So, here, I want to pitch a theory to you, Nick.
Please do.
Here it comes.
Oh,
okay. You got it.
I had to pick it up. I dropped it.
Okay. It was my fault. Bad throw. So I think so. When I first heard the song ages ago,
mm-hmm.
The line "Sossity, you're a woman," of course, naturally, immediately reminded me of the line from Hamlet, where Hamlet is confronting his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry, he's speaking about his mother. This is Act 1, Scene 1, or Act 1, Scene 2. He's describing his mother having married his uncle shortly after the death of his father. And
right.
He says, "Frailty, thy name is woman."
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a conscious and direct reference to that line from Shakespeare?
It really feels like it.
Sossity, you're a woman. Frailty, thy name is woman. Because in the case of Hamlet, he is saying that his mother is frail. His mother is morally weak because she often marries her dead husband's brother.
Often?
And
okay.
And often, maybe.
We only know of that one.
How many know? Who knows how many siblings there were?
That's true. Yeah, and the character of Sossity seems to be fairly frail.
Right. So there seems to be. I guess there's like sort of a cyclical implication of that weakness here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that bothers me about it is that he's putting all of these negative. He's describing society in this negative way, and using. There's something about it that bothers me that he's chosen it to be a woman.
I know. It's,
you know what I mean?
You have to separate out the fact that this was written in 1969 and it is literally 50 years later when a lot has evolved.
Speaking of Shakespeare, and this relates. So when I was in London studying Shakespeare, I had a one-on-one with the head of the school, whose name, it was also Ian, funnily enough, Ian Wooldridge, a Welshman, and quite an accomplished director. And I was working on a speech from Cymbeline, Posthumus, who has supposedly discovered that his fiancée is cheating on him. Of course, it's not true. It was a trick of Giacomo the Italian to convince Posthumus of this. But anyway, he has a soliloquy where his life is falling apart because he thinks that his girlfriend, his fiancée, who is so pure, has been cheating on him, and he starts railing against womankind. Basically his course of logic is, if Imogen has been unfaithful to me, then all women in all of history have always been unfaithful. And it's sort of escalates quite quickly, if you will.
Yeah, it's the reductive reasoning or something like that.
Totally, exactly. Yeah. So I did this soliloquy for Ian Wooldridge and this private lesson, and he looked at me and he was like, all right, the language isn't bad. You're getting some of the arguments, but you have to hate women more. And I was like, what?
Wait, was it Paul McCartney that you?
This is literally, look, I only have one British accent. This is literally how he spoke, though.
You have to hate women. Ringo pops up in the back row.
And I was like, I beg your pardon. He was like, look, it's difficult for your generation because you've had feminism, but for my generation, we really knew how to hate women. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And that's what this feels like. It's sort of like, it's sort of like, you know what I'd like to do with this song? Hate women.
Hate women. Yeah. I'd like to make it look like I'm railing against society, but man, them bitches be tripping.
It kind of feels like that. And like, maybe that wasn't the intent. And, you know, maybe I'm a snowflake and this is triggering me in my safe space, but like, I don't know. I get the sense it just feels out of date to me.
Yes, absolutely.
But there are some fun metaphors.
The lyrics are problematic, to say the least. And even when I was in high school, the lyrics never really did much for me because it is so convoluted in the message that he's trying to impart. Right. I feel anyway.
Right.
But no, I'm telling you, it's always been the instrumental for me on this song.
Great. Nice. Hey,
Just you wait. I can't wait until we find a song that you just love. And
Can we shift gears here for a second into a discussion of the word Sossity itself?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a most likely apocryphal story about the name Sossity.
Please, I'd love to hear it. I love apocrypha.
Apparently, supposedly and apparently, possibly hypothetically, most likely theoretically.
Allegedly, certainly.
Certainly allegedly. Determinedly, impotently. Martin Barr.
Not the least reprehensible, if so defensible.
Is that one of your rap songs?
No, that's from the musical Chicago, actually.
Yeah, so one of your rap songs.
Yeah, basically.
Supposedly, Martin Barr bought a boat and named it Sossity.
Right.
And after Ian told Barr that it was a song railing against society and Sossity is just a play on the word society, he sold the boat.
Wow.
Yep.
That's what they call bullying. So I have heard that.
Oh, really?
Again, we don't know. We don't know if that's true. But I also have another origin for the word Sossity.
Oh, okay.
It appears to be an Irish name.
Really?
Yeah, or maybe a Scottish name. But it seems to be some kind of old northern UK name.
Huh.
There are at least 2 spellings of it.
Okay.
And it is not a popular name.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, according to the U.S. Census,
it does not exist.
The Social Security Administration has recorded 12 babies born with the first name Sossity in the United States. Now,
in the history of the United States,
from 1880 to 2017.
Wow. Okay.
Guess when that number spiked.
Please tell me it was like 1970.
1971, 1972.
What?
Yeah. So some hippies have heard this album and were like, you know that song that talks about how society is so evil and terrible and it beats on women and it's about Sossity. We should name our kid Sossity.
It's like, spoiler alert, it's like this is a Game of Thrones spoiler. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone? Pause it or skip forward 30 seconds.
It's literally all already happened, Nick. Game
Okay.
of Thrones is already out.
Okay. I mean, it's still relatively recent, and I haven't seen the last season. I just know this part. It's the equivalent of seeing seasons like 1 through 3 of Game of Thrones and naming your kid Daenerys, and then finding out that she's like a raging crazy person at the end.
Right.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Would you like to hear some names that are less popular than Sossity?
Oh, my goodness. Do you have a substantial number of how many less there are? Like, is it just like 4 below Sossity?
No. I think there are a lot of really obscure names. I know this is the 70,404th most popular name of all time.
Okay.
So would you like to hear some names that are less popular than Sossity?
Let's throw them out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Julzim.
Oh, that's a typo. That's a typo. Owen.
No, the name Julzim. All right, moving on.
Spell it.
It's Julezim, just like it sounds. Julzim.
Do you think that's like...
I don't know. Would you like to hear another one?
Like Hasidic or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hebrew?
Do you want to hear another one?
Yes, please.
Banwanti.
That
Banwantie.
That sounds like an African or something.
I think it's Irish. Banwanti.
Oh. Okay.
Would you like to hear another one?
Yes.
Jennifer.
That's straight out of like Tennessee. That is like West Virginia. Had the baby in the same. They had to empty out the moonshine tub to have the baby in.
They couldn't decide between Jennifer and Winifred.
No. My guess is mom is Jennifer, dad is Fred.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Jennifer.
There's also Stackman.
Ooh, that sounds
first
like
name, Stackman. Like
that sounds
Stackman.
I played that game a lot in high school. That sounds like a name you'd hear at Yale or something.
But like a last name.
I guess so.
This is Aaron Stackman. He's the president of Phi Delta Delta.
His jaw doesn't open.
There's also Hogler.
Stackman Hogler. He's the guy.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's like a superhero name.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what's more popular than Sossity?
That sounded like a time for everything.
No, yeah.
Questionable that it's more. Yeah, please.
Sisto.
Sisto?
Sisto.
That sounds super familiar, actually. I couldn't tell you.
I think you're thinking of
why.
Cisco.
No, I know Cisco exists, but Sisto sounds, but also as a last name.
Cisco existo. Okay. This has been fun. I want to move on to one more point.
That's a spell from Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah, I want to move on to one more point here.
Okay.
Let's say that it's not that he wasn't taking it from the name, and that Ian Anderson was just making up the word. Because that is one theory, that it's just a complete play on words, right?
But how does that explain its existence?
I'm just saying that it wouldn't be the first person or last person to make up a word for the sake of a song.
Okay, go ahead. Go on.
It reminds me of the Digital Underground's song, The Humpty Dance, written and performed by Shock G under the guise of Humpty Hump.
This is a callback to a couple of weeks ago.
I will read you the following lyric. I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. I gotta do it again to cut that out.
For the record, if you want me to cut anything, just swear a blue streak, and I'll have to cut it out.
Great. Cut that from the thing that I just did. All right, here it is. Ready? I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. I use a word that don't mean nothing like Loop did.
I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. stupid. I'll use a word that don't mean nothing, like looped.
That's just, I couldn't come up with a rhyme.
And yet, that word, loopted, Looptid, has been used in multiple other songs since then. So he actually created Mr. Shock G, under the guise of Humpty Hump in the Humpty Dance song, created that word, and it has gone on. It's had a life. It's like the name Wendy.
In what context was it used after the fact? Because it's clearly like, oh, we're showing our cred by doing a callback to this very early rap song, you know?
Right.
But is it just like Humpty Hump said, loop did, we do this, da 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 da, or is it like using it in the context of an actual word? Right. You came at this as an expert. You got to expect questions, my friend.
I'm going to throw that to our audience. Send us examples of the word loopted, or, use it in an email to your boss today. I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't finish the reports. This progress has been loopted by the excessive risk-taking of the financial department.
So it's a verb.
I think it's up for interpretation.
Do you want to know how many times Sossity, Your Woman, has been played in concert?
I do.
It has been played 158 times.
Yo, that's a looped amount of plays.
It is more looped than one could loopity-loop, my friend.
Wow, when is your next rap album dropping, Nick?
I wanted to save it for the end, but I guess I'll have to tell you. First one was April 19th, 1970, Long Beach Arena, Long Beach, California. Again.
Yes, again with the California.
Again with the California. Most recently by Ian Anderson, December 18th, 2008, at the Auditorium Santa Chiara in Trento, Italy.
That was a seriously unnecessary pronunciation there, and I loved it.
It's like the people on the Food Network that like cook Italian food, and they just like really ham up. We're making a lasagna.
Right, but they're from Alabama.
Yeah, and the rest of their speech is just straight up like, we're gonna make some lasagna.
Yes. Yeah. I love cooking shows.
That's what that was.
Nick, what's your favorite made-up word that you've ever used?
I mean, if you're going back to Humpty, the Humpty dance, I'm going to say Bumpty is up there. Mort Panto is really good.
Oh yeah, it is.
Because it's a it's a spoonerism of the word portmanteau, and those are my two favorite English idiosyncrasies. Yeah. English language idiosyncrasies.
Yeah. As a follow-up, Juju used the term looped in Reign of the Tech 3 years after the release of the Humpty Dance by the Digital Underground.
And what's the line? What's the context?
I don't think I can say it on the air. Shall I say it and you can beep it out?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Les flipped the ill shit kid. Yo, he looped it.
He looped it?
He looped it.
So that's clearly a verb.
Looped it.
Or it could also be saying, yo, he is looped.
I think it also goes back to Shakespeare. Be thou looped or nay, thy scriptids do lie in the hay. It's from that's from the Tortoise and the Phoenix, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like at least fourth folio. They took them a long time to find that one. I think it was originally attributed to Christopher Buehlman, but
yeah, it was found in an extremely dirty quarto.
Yeah. Content and physical. Oh yeah. Extremely dirty.
Hey, so Nick.
Yeah, Omen.
Do we have any sauce more to pour over this song?
No, I think I've appreciated it enough for both of us.
Mm-hmm. Great. Wow. Well, if you are a woman, you can go on to YouTube. Nope. If you're a woman or a man, or anything else.
Doesn't matter what you are. You could be a woman, you could be society, you could be a tortoise or a phoenix. Doesn't matter.
You can still go on to iTunes, rate and review us, give us those stars, and if you shoot for the stars and you don't hit them, you can still land on our moons.
And once you land, you may be a little looped, but you'll get over it.
Just have a shot of Sossity and you'll be all right.
Like, is it a negative thing to be looped? I think it is, right? It's derogatory to be looped?
It's up to you, Nick.
Yeah. Ugh.
The power is in your hands.
I hate this.
Yeah. English, right? What are we listening to next week?
Next week is the first of our bonus tracks off of Benefit.
So this is the end of the official American release of Benefit.
I just had an American release.
And it was to your benefit, no doubt.
And it was to everyone's benefit.
Yeah. So now we're moving on to the bonus tracks. It's really exciting.
That's right. Bonus track 1 of 4. It is Singing All Day.
It sure is. And until next week, we'll be singing all day, getting our vocal cords ready to talk Tull to you.
We'll be singing all week. Yeah. I'm Nick McGill.
I'm Omen Sade.
And we are Feckless Momes.
This is Talk Tull to Me.
Talk Tull to Me is a proud member of the Feckless Momes, the so looped Feckless Momes audio network.
Drop the beat.